Good afternoon, you dapper bastards. As you can see, we're going around some Curvas Pelagrosus and kind of a sketchy road. Currently ascending the western side of the Andes. I did want to take a moment to point out to you the general landscape in the plant community here, which is pretty much dominated by those blue agave-looking things, which is a species of puya, and then of course Trichocereus chiloensis, which is basically the most dominant plant in the Santiago region, aside from Quilaja, Sapon area, which you only get at higher elevations. Anyway, you can see there's quite a few Trichocereus out there. I don't know if you can see them if the resolution on this shitty camera's too good, but you can certainly see the puyas, those little turquoise, right there's a nice patch on them. Anyway, we're going up to the mountains, because, you know, it's so dry down below. It's probably going to be dry up top too, but there's a little bit cooler temperatures and a little bit more moisture. We'll see what we can find. Look at that, the ash plants in flower. Lithorea caustica, poison oak and poison ivy family, Anacardiaceae, but don't let you give it the wrong impression about that family, because mangoes and cashews, of course, are in that family too. That is the flowers. Gotta be careful not to touch any, because it's a different compound than urushiol, which is what's in poison oak that makes your ass break out in a rash. But I believe it's still, you know, an allergic reaction, so you got to be sensitized to it. Love seeing these people who say I'm not allergic to poison ivy, and then, you know, 10 exposures later they break out in a big oozy ass rash. So it's probably the same with this compound. Look at those nice sumac flowers, though. Then just all around, you got, see, we're still in areas of human development. You got your Lombardy poplars, some locust trees. You know, just typical, you got a eucalyptus, you know, just the normal human horticultural atrocities overplanted and whatnot. The Lombardy poplars are actually kind of nice, so they do give some shade and they grow pretty fast. But then up there, you got some of the native veg, the native vegetation. You got some of those Trichocereus, chiloensis. A couple of them blooming right now. You got more of that Lithorea up there. That looks like snow melt. Okay, right here we got a species of Areocytes. Looks like Curvus spina. Even got some fruit on it. But the real jammers, of course. Oh, there's another one. The real jammers, of course, are up there. There's that nice Echinopsis up there. More of that Areocytes too. Oh, just a little guy. No, they're all over here. Anyway, now this is the most ubiquitous plant. And I see one with a flower on it. Some agave, that ain't native here. Just gotta make sure I don't touch the ash plant. Oh no, this is Quilaja. Okay, so there we go. And this is a little one. They get about, I don't know, upwards of 15, 20 feet tall at times. Trichocereus chiloensis, one of the most ubiquitous plants in the Santiago region. You can see those spines. Now, unlike a lot of species of Trichocereus, these don't have any mescaline in them, which, you know, I don't really care about, but you know, some people do, and if that's how they get into giving a shit about plants that don't have any, you know, immediate use to people, then by all means, I'll use whatever I can, you know, just to kind of wrap them in. Just to kind of get them hooked, you know? You care about herbal medicine or some silly drug shit? Okay, maybe that'll get you into caring about the, you know, the ecology, the evolutionary history, shit like that. I don't care. You can see these are just being pollinated by quite a few different insects. I think bats can do a lot of the work, especially since they're open at night. You know, it almost looks just the perfect size for a little bat head to get in there. But again, Trichocereus chiloensis, these would do very well in many areas in California. You know, and probably not even be that invasive. There's the fruits. Fruit is edible, not that palatable, but edible, not that bad either. And then, of course, there's that Coletia rhamnaceae, buckthorn family. Leafless photosynthetic stems, quite painful to brush up against. Yeah, there you go. There's a nice full frontal view of that flower. You got the somewhat hairy hypanthium. Those are technically leaves, those little bracts right there. You can see they just got a little smattering of hairs on the margins of them, like many species in the genus Trichocereus. and of course massive flowers. You know, and of course since cacti corolla parts are technically not distinct, there's no distinction between sepals and petals, aka calyx and corolla. They're just called TEPALS. We'll just call them TEPALS. They have quite a few of them. Massive as hell. I mean, it's a massive flower. And then there's some fruits up there. They got fuzzy fruits. You know, I think I got a little spine of that agave broken off into my leg. I'm gonna tend to that right now. The Collettia's so nice, ain't it? Okay, we're at about 5,500 feet here, just below the line where the Trichocereus stop. You can see those are the last of them up there. They kind of taper off. Not even that many left up there. But anyway, you can see right here, this jumble, this mishmash of rocks and boulders and shit. Might be wondering how it got there. Well, you got to look at the angularity of them. See how they're not rounded and polished? That is, they weren't brought here by a former riverbed or an ocean or anything like that. You could tell, well, that and the fact that they're volcanic, and they basically seem to be held together by a volcanic sand. This is the result of a pyroclastic flow. Basically, you know, an ancient volcanic mud flow. It probably raced down this hill at speeds of upwards of 100 miles per hour. You wouldn't know it just looking at this guy, but this is actually a parasite. It's a hemiparasite as opposed to a holoparasite. Hemiparasites also have the ability to produce their own chlorophyll and thus produce their own food via photosynthesis. So they are autotrophs. They're not obligate heterotrophs. But this is parasitizing, quite likely parasitizing this aster right here. This is a species in the genus Quinquamelium in the sandalwood family Consolation. Pretty corollas, huh? And quite a few of these are, again, they're hemiparasites. So they produce chlorophyll, they can photosynthesize, but they also, you know, they say I'm going to borrow a little bit from my neighbor. You know, maybe without his permission. Hey, there you go. There's a little fuzzy oxalis. Look at that. Oxalis has gone wild down here, too. A lot of different kinds of oxalis. This little sespetos. Little sespetos fucker. Okay, now on a steep ridge covered with the fencing and whatnot to keep the rocks from falling on buses of fresa tourists going up to the ski resort, you see another member of the nightshade family, Solanaceae. Now, if you haven't picked up on it, Solanaceae is pretty dominant down here. A lot of diversity. This is a species in the genus Salpiglossus. I think there's only a couple species of there. You know, looking lily-like, blood red flowers. And again, glandular as hell. I mean, that should be the first giveaway that it's the nightshade family. Just real sticky, you know? Just like Nicotiana, just like Schizanthus. Solanaceae has done some wonderful things down here. You know, I think we only get a couple species in California, Lycium, Datura, you know, and then of course you get Brugmansia planted in everybody's garden, especially the old, you know, Mexican grannies, the abuelitas. They love the Brugmansia. That's a, you know, token abuelita plant. Anyway, there you go, Salpiglossus. Got a nice rosette down there. Again, looking like tomato-like leaves. You know, I always find it funny when people drive by, you know, and see me taking pictures of shit on the side of the road. You know, just normies and shit, you know. And they wonder what the fuck you're doing. Why do you want to look at that? Why do you want to study that? You know? I don't know. You know, plants are only the basis of the entire food chain of planet Earth, you know. 80% of our fucking drugs come from plants. All those statins that prevent those grandpas from having a heart attack when they're getting all worked up about Greta, what's her name? You know, those actually come from, statins come from fungi, but same thing, you know. Don't you just want to study non-human life on Earth? You know, you don't see any redeeming quality in it. What do you get into? Video games? Cars? What the fuck? Ah, look at this. It's a new kind of tropaeolum, a new kind of nasturtium. This one's tiny. I wonder if this one's got the eight stamens too. Got a little spur on it, that corolla. You look at this dainty. He's fucking dainty. Are you offended if I call you dainty? God, why don't the hippies obsess over these more? Hippies love nasturtium. It's their go-to, you know, it's their go-to garden crop, plant, horticultural, whatever the fuck. You know, if only they knew. You know, I'm not knocking it. Whatever gets you into the game, you know, that's fine. But there's a lot more diversity out there than just that horticultural atrocity, nasturtium species, that orange one that you see in gardens all over the place. Like this guy. Look at that tiny foliage, too. Coming out of the volcanic sand. Coming out of that, what the shit is that? Yeah, it looks like some sort of weird ash or almost looks like a mudstone, but it's not. It's volcanic. God, that high contrast is killing me. Is it killing you? Then we got a nice little lupin. Moving on up. That's, I don't know, 7,000, 7,500 feet right now. Now, when you're looking for places to find new plants, if you're out botanizing, looking at stuff, you want to find stuff that sticks out. Okay, so you got kind of a monotypic landscape, all right? And then you see like a little stream or, you know, a rocky outcrop like this. There's a chance there's going to be good stuff there. So that's kind of what you want to look for. Just changes in the setting. You know, places where plants can seek a refuge from either from environmental stresses or even from you know, the typical human tumor. Right here we got a nice species of Baccharis coyote bush, which is a ubiquitous plant in California. Of course, a member of the sunflower family. Plants are dioecious, they're either male or female. But here we got a little prostrate one, just kind of hugging her axe. There's the little flowers. Got a king chameleon, one of those parasites right there. That orange flower, and then you got that stacky stew. Okay, coming up in all this spiny bullshit, this spiky stuff is actually a member of the rose family in the genus Tetraglockin, if you could believe that. Now he's got real weird flowers. Very, I guess you could call them simplified and reduced. They're at the end. These winged things are the fruits. It's the ovary, and then at the tip of those are these tiny flowers. The morning light is kind of fucking me up here. At least on trying to show you this stuff. Anyway, here you go, Tetraglockin. But right here, we got another one of those dinosaur sunflowers. A species in the genus Mutisia. Look at that elongated capitula right there. Multi-seriate phyllaries, a number of those roof and bracts. The undersides of the fucking ligules here, of those petals, aka quote petals, are bright red. You could just see those extremely long styles. I don't think any of the Mutisias really have discoid flowers. It's all just all ligulate. You know, these, again, this is one of the early branching lineages. Very weird, very strange. We don't get many of them in North America. You get Trixis and you get Accordia in North America, which are two genera in this subfamily of the sunflower family. But, you know, and they're fucking gorgeous. They look really weird. They got the bilabiate corollas. Technically, it's zygomorphic corolla. That is, each one of these little ligules, each one of those petals corresponds to one flower. So you'd be the corolla of one of those florets I'm talking about. But the styles here, they're fucking... What a weird plant. And again, they come up in other plants. They're like a vine. There's another one right there. Tons of different kinds of Mutisias. And they're all really cool looking, really spiky, leathery foliage. Oh yeah. Okay, bear with me. You know, I had about 6 gourds of that yerba mate shit, which is actually just a species of holly in the genus Ilex. You know, I got to find something to replace the Nescafe, because, you know, aside from external capitalist meddling, it's the fucking bane of Latin America. I don't know how people drink that shit. You know, it's even for instant coffee, it's awful. All right, anyway, so I'm all jacked up on mate. That's why I can barely hold this fucking Mutisia straight. But here you got a nice illustration of what's going on morphologically with the individual florets. I've got 2 of them pried out right there. 2 different floret types pried out from this Mutisia. So You can see the disc flowers. They're not really discoid flowers in a conventional sense of disc flowers of the sunflower family. You can see the external one right there with the strap-shaped ray on it, the strap-shaped ligule, that long-ass style coming out. And then right in the middle there, you got it looks more like a trilabiate individual floret. It's actually one of the lips, one of the corolla lips is split in two. If I can, let me just zoom in on the camera, right there. One of the corolla lips is actually just split in two. But you know, very distinct. And if you look at Trixis, which is a species you get in North America, you get a couple in the Sonoran Desert and a Colorado Desert and a Mojave Desert, and you get a couple in Texas. I think you just get one in Texas actually. Or if you look at an Accordia species, Acourtia, you see the same thing. That same corolla type. But you really got to cut the fucker open and look in there. Okay, there you go. I put this thing down so I can hold the camera with two hands. Maybe get a little bit better, a little less shaking, a little bit better stability. There's that floret you could see. And you could see those long-ass hairs, too. Those would be, that's the pappus. That's the seed dispersal mechanism that basically makes the seed windborne. Oh, look at that beautiful money shot of both of those floret types. You know, am I making a synantherologist out of you yet? You know what a synantherology is? Fused anthers. Basically anybody who studies the sunflower family, which you should, because they're fucking everywhere. You know, it's a you know, evolution's most prominent form of you know, higher photosynthetic life. Higher vascular photosynthetic life. Anyway, there's that Mutisia. Really, really interesting. You know, and the whole subfamily is pretty interesting too. The dinosaur sunflowers. Hey, it seems to be some copper ore. Look at that, the bright blue color. Look at this tiny Catanthera, a little tiny aster. You can see the multi-serried fellows. Your Catanthera does that thing where it's got these bottom bracts that kind of subtend the whole capitula. And so, you know, you can't really, you end up not being able to tell whether, you know, filaries or whether they're just fucking leaves or what. But it's this tiny-ass little annual just coming up right on the ground at the base of these sketchy cliffs right here. So speaking of Mutisioid Asters, right here we have a species in the genus Leucaria, which again is another Mutisioid Aster. This one is covered in glands, and they smell horrible. It's actually pretty incredible. You know what? Sometimes smells can trigger us. I like to use that word a lot. It's pretty funny. You know, you can trigger both the left and the right. Just keep them with the parlance of the times. Everyone's got something to be outraged and upset about on both sides of the political spectrum these days, but I digress. What this smell triggers for me is a trip to the doctor's office when I was about 8 years old, and the doctor had really bad breath. You know, just that typical old man breath. It smells mildly like halitosis, like he's got something rotting back there, like he's got something, you know, just rotting in the back of his mouth. You know, maybe he's not flossing enough, I don't know, but it smells terrible. It makes me want to die. Thinking of that doctor kind of makes me want to die. Just a really stiff old fart, you know, and that's what this smells like. It's absolutely abominable. I kind of regret touching it right now because now my hands are going to smell. You can see the glands. There's a couple bugs stuck in those trichomes and hairs and with this shit. It is just, it's an awful smell. Beautiful flower though. Look at those fucking blue styles poking out. I mean, really distinct. This is a common species. I almost didn't show it to you, but I figured it gave me a chance to vent about some of my childhood traumas, so why not indulge, you know? Anyway, there you go. Those corollas. Maybe I'll dissect the capitula and look at some of those florets. Wow, yeah, you know, I kind of regret doing that, but now I get a chance to show you what's going on morphologically with this flower. It really does smell bad. It's probably one of the worst smelling plants I've had the pleasure of cutting open. It's really, you know, it smells like a little bit like rotting meat with a dash of pepper. But there's those individual florets. You can see I pulled the actual florets out of that capitula. So, you know, in a circumference around the the capituli, you got those strap-shaped ligulate flowers, and then in the inside you got the bilabiate flowers. Definitely mutisioid. And I apologize, but it was not the styles that were blue. That would be the anther columns. So, you know, again, sunflower family, notable for the anthers all being fused and somewhat hidden from view in a column, and then through that column comes the style, which is that little Y-shaped white thing. And they, of course, do the secondary pollen presentation. You know, I've explained this many times. You just got to watch some of the other videos if you're fucking curious here. You know? Anyway, there you go. Leucaria. Beautiful flowers. Terrible smelling plant. It's pretty incredible. Growing at the base of this sketchy, it looks like rhyolite. Looks like some nice rhyolitic cliffs. Over there you got a nice calceolaria. Calceolariaceae in the salvia order. The mint, salvia, oregano, and thyme order. When they say thyme, why do they do it? Why does everyone from the Midwest pronounce their I's like that? Thyme. It's so fucking annoying. Speak of childhood traumas, you know? I guess I kind of talk like that too, though. Anyway, go fuck it. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, anybody who's caught smoking within 30 feet of a door at Midway International Airport is subject to a fine. To a fine. To a fine, which you may not have the time to pay. But it's fine. It could be fine. It might be bad, but it might be kind of fine, too. It's fine. No, don't whine. Oh, fuck. Don't whine. Don't whine, because you have the time. You have all the time to pay this fine. You got all the time to pay this fine, so don't whine, because it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. If you don't break your ass coming down this sketch. You know, I told you already that this was mine, okay? So don't get out of line, okay? Or you'll be subject to a fine. And I'll make you drink this salty... Look at that, it's a Colomia, Phlox family, Polemoniaceae. What the fuck are you doing down here? We get a couple of you in California. There's a bunch of Polemones. Bunch of Polemoniaceae that got a rather disjunct distribution in the Andes, you know? Probably, of course, transported by our avian friends, you know? Did you know that that was mine? Please don't step out of line, or I'll make you drink the salty brine. Say, do you have the time to listen to me whine about things that may or may not? Oh my God, that's some of the tackiest shit I think I've ever seen. This beautiful landscape up at about 9,000 feet, just marred by condos for fresas. Just you know, can you imagine if this was in the Sierra Nevada? Imagine going up to like the Southern Sierra, and there's just luxury apartments, condos, hotels, and resorts and what the shit. It's like a Simpsons cartoon, but much darker and not as funny. It'd be nice to see those all on fire one day, or you know, after a bad earthquake, just toppling down into the ravine there, preferably you know, with nobody inside, but you know, destroyed nonetheless. Anyway, there you go. The Andes Mountains, east of Santiago at about 9,000 feet. Okay, here we go. Variations on a theme. Another species of Schizanthus up here at 9,200 feet. Tomato family, Solanaceae. Look at those leaves. But of course, Schizanthus is in its own subfamily. Very glandular. Look at all those hairs with the glands on them. Again, tons of alkaloids in these plants. Some probably quite toxic. And then just growing embedded in the volcanics, we got a new species of oxalis. Another species of oxalis. This one with those wonderful pink corollas. Inner part of those, that perianth is yellow. Variations on the theme. And well, you know, we're still at these high elevations, but we're I guess we're probably, I don't know, 60 miles south of where we were yesterday. And just whole different plant community. Whole new cast of species. They got the fever if you ever wait there. It's a pain in the ass. Real bad invasive. Takes over here. Ooh, look at that. It's a violet. Another one of the rosulate viola species. There's quite a few of them. Probably not for much longer, though. You could see a... God, how fucking obscene. You can see they're in the process of just finishing up this building. Why do you think they chose that architectural style for that hideous condo building over there? You know, it looks like kind of looks like some distorted bookend, you know, or scrap wood or something. I don't know. Just kind of an orgy of name brand consumerism over there too. They got all the big names up. Ads for Jeep, ads for Movistar, you know, a cell phone company. Just really hideous. And it's funny they're building a ski resort too when it's during a drought. It doesn't look like there's been any snow here at all, really. Certainly not enough to ski on. But, you know, the machine must go on. Kind of funny. Anyway. And, you know, unfortunately, I think the volcanoes in this area are extinct. So there's not a chance of like a pyroclastic flow demolishing those buildings. But they do get some pretty strong earthquakes here. So here's rooting for the Nazca Plate. Do what you can. Come on. You know, and we know you're diving down. You're going pretty fast. The Nazca Plate is really our only hope right now. Got some nice Nastanthus going on. Caliceraceae. Remember, sister family to the Asteraceae. Nastanthus looks like nasty anthus without the Y. Yeah, these are fucked too. Because, you know, this is the side nothing's growing on. Because you go on the other side. And they got, I guess, you know, since skiing season's off. Also, since Chile's in a drought. They're not doing skiing, so they're trying to do the whole dirt bike thing, which is actually bicycles. They're not obnoxious motorized bikes, which is cool. There's actually people, you know, expending energy to move these bicycles, but they're destroying, you know, the whole hillside is just covered in dirt tracks, not a plant on it. So I'm guessing it's going to be here at some point. We'll see. Anyway, this is a pretty wonderful genus, Nastanthus. Again, looks like a cabbage and an aster banged. They're little flower heads, little capitulas. Pseudanthiums, I guess, is a more proper term for them since we're not talking about the sunflower family. They're technically not capitulas. And then each one of those little, I can't tell if that's a style or I'd assume it's a style. I don't know, I haven't read much about Caliceraceae. They do the secondary pollen presentation too. Who knows? Got another Phacelia up there. There we go. This is new Edesmia, new matted Edesmia, new matted Cespitosa Edesmia. Up at 10,000 feet. There's that other Plantagenaceae, Melosperma andina. Little zygomorphic flowers. See how you could split them vertically but not horizontally, like a heart? That's zygomorphic. I know I say this shit all the time, but I figure some of you guys are picking it up, so maybe you give a shit, maybe you don't. You know, just turn it off. Got Andean condors out there somewhere. Probably not around here because it's just the sound of construction material and vehicles. But sure, at one point there were. You know, I guess they actually pulled a little Incan girl, mummy, out of a cave somewhere up there beyond those clouds. Part of the vast Incan road network. Oh yeah, there's that altitude. Having trouble catching my breath, which means I'm not going to be talking as much. Some of you are probably excited about that. Here's a really cool one. Here's a member of the coffee family, Rubiaceae. Again, we got those salver-form corollas, tubular corollas, 5 fused petals, but dissected at the end of the corolla, at the end of the perianth. And let's see if you can see any interpetiolar stipules. Nah, not really. I guess it's too Cespitosa to see any. Just listing off trademarks of the Rubiaceae. It looks so rubiaceous. What a beautiful plant. A lot of these are hummingbird pollinated. Not sure about this one, but it does have a rather elongated corolla. Oh, look at that! It's pretty nice. Beautiful bastard. Fucking grazing animals. I can't believe it. Holy shit. Nature's fucked. You know, not trying to bum anybody. Well, maybe a little bit. It's trying to be real with you. You know, you gotta keep it real. There's too many, you know, fancy-sensy nature boys with ponytails out there trying to paint a rosy picture of a bleak setting. Not gonna happen. Gotta keep it real a little bit. In the volcanic sand, we got a lot of diversity. All tiny. There's that Pozoa again. That Apiaceae. Looks like a little nightshade. Possibly a little nicotine. That's what it looks like, a little nicotiana. And then this rosulate bastard, that looks like some kind of annual aster. Asteraceae. You got a little tiny astragalus too. There you go, just the whole hillside of Nassavia. One of those basal asters. None of it blooming yet though. You know, we're about as high as we were a couple days ago when a bunch of stuff was going off, but here it's barely waking up. Seems a lot drier too. You know, I don't care if they got a bunch of fresas in ski regalia here going to the resort. Those are some beautiful mountains. Oh, there's some nice debris right there too. God damn, the fucking Andes, man. Started to uplift about 20 million years ago. I think they stopped about 5 million years ago. But there's probably still some mild uplift, you know, all because of that Nazca plate subducting eastward beneath the South American plate. Holy shit. Oh, look at that. There's a cow over there. In that nice seep. Probably destroying who knows how many rare plants, fucking up habitat for all the critters that live there. And of course, causing a nice cascade of shit to run downstream. How about that? Just a bunch of fucking alpine carrots. There we go. Azarella compacta again. And another species of Azarella. You could see why they call that one compacta. The rosettes are, well, they're much more compact, and then this one, they're much more spread out. One of the only things flowering right now. Oh, there's a little astragalus up there. Okay, so everything's been kind of fried by the drought. Super dry up here, especially for being at 11,000 feet. But here's this guy going off, another species of Nassavia. Again, basal Asteraceae, Mutisia. Look at this guy. Look at how fucking tiny he is. And there's that tiny little sunflower florets in there. The foliage is fucking incredible too, though. It's that rosulate thing going on. Look at it. In the end, it could be a nice story were it not for the extreme drought. It could be, you know, skiing fresas and rare plants living together, cohabitating, you know. No one's fucking this up. They got a dirt bike trail over there. No one's tearing ass down this hill unless there's 6 feet of snow on top of it. It could be a nice story, but for that whole 10-year drought thing and the fact that everything here is seemingly so crispy. But look again at this goddamn Nassavia. So this is one of the Mutisioid. Again, if you remember me using that, you know, running my mouth about that. The Dinosaur Sunflowers. So it's in the sunflower family, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like some sort of weird succulent. It's all bristly. It feels pretty bristly. It's got the texture of like a toothbrush. And then you got it's a synflorescence. I guess that's called syncephalous, when they got one capitula, one cup holding a bunch of florets inside of it, and then that cup is inside another cup. That's called being syncephalous. And not a lot of members of the Aster family, the sunflower family, do that. But it seems Nassavia does. Actually, maybe this one doesn't. I can't tell. But I've seen it on another one of them. The Castoclys does that. Some of the Vernonias do that. This plant has a beautiful form to it. I mean, this fucker's is pretty gorgeous, even if, you know, even if he wasn't blooming. But he is. But I do worry. This is, let's see, it's December, so that's like the equivalent of June or July in the high Sierra, there should still be snowpack here. Or at least the soil should still be wet, and it is bone dry. You know, I bet they got snow, but probably not enough. We've seen some of the snowmakers down there. They had the little fans and blowing, you know, they blow the shit all over they make their own snow so the fresas can still go skiing and stuff. But, you know, it's not, evidently it's not enough just with the normal precipitation, which makes sense because, you know, it's dry as hell. Four times it rained last winter at the lower elevations, which means it probably didn't snow that much up here either. There you go, Nasavia. And there's apparently some violas up here too. There's that other species of Nasavia, a much larger one, a much more grandiose bastard, but by no means more grandiose in the flower. This one's the more grandiose flower. Well, it's got a nice flower too, but it's you know, it's not showy like this. But this guy's everywhere. This little bastard is only at the much higher elevations, from like here on up. Oh yeah, there you go, money shot right there. I first read about these guys in Vicki Funk's book on Asteraceae, her monograph on it, her 1,000-page Gideon's Bible version of the composite family. R.I.P. Vicki Funk. What a wonderful woman. She did a lot of work down here in South America studying these plants, especially in the Guyana highlands. You want to have your mind blown with some weird, freaky sunflower family members, go look up plants in the Guyana highlands. Up there in the Tepuis and whatnot, you know, those little volcanic mesas, you know, right by Guyana and Venezuela. Good luck getting to Venezuela, though. Think you might have some trouble over there. Anyway, look, there's a little guy. Where'd he go? Look, little rosette. Those you got those goddamn violas, too. You know? Think of all the fresas just skiing down here. You know? 40 miles per hour. No idea what's here in the springtime. You know, I bet someone would probably be into it if they knew. I bet they would. You know? Even with all that goofy regalia, that goofy expensive regalia they put on. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm just throwing some jabs. Hey, just throw some jabs here and there. You know? No right hooks, just a couple jabs. They're fine. There you go, Nasavia. Ooh. What a banger. Looks like only one little floret. I don't see no styles poking out. Where the styles at? There's a couple of violas. And then you got a couple of those Nasavias. They look a lot alike, don't they? Just a little bit different of a pattern of hairs on the leaf rosettes. Gotta think, these Nasavias, they've been up here for a while. Just on this little island of mountains. Well, not little, it's the fucking Andes. They're huge, but, you know, they've been doing their thing for a long time. Adapting to probably the selective pressures put on them by now extinct megafauna. You know, extinct camelids and sloths and whatever shit. Not these little guys, but some of the Chuquiuragas. And I mean, that obviously, that's spiny for a reason. I like it when you see a plant, or you see any organism really, and you can see evidence of its past encounters with other parts of its ecology. You know, its evolutionary ecology. You know, that thing probably evolved those spines to avoid being eaten by an animal that's now long extinct. This thing is fucking mean, and it looks like it's been like that for a while. A lot of these asters are pollinated by hummingbirds too. Didn't start out like that, but they evolved hummingbird pollination, you know, secondarily. Probably started out being pollinated by insects, and then, you know, when did hummingbirds diversify? I don't know. I think South America is the epicenter of diversity, not only for the sunflowers, but for hummingbirds as well. A lot of diversity around here. The tiniest and the largest. Hey, let me ask you a question, though. Why you let us get so close, huh? And one more thing. I know you go into that gift shop sometimes. You just swipe something. You don't even need it. But you still just swipe it, you know, just on principle. Tell me you don't. Tell me with a straight face that you don't do it. Okay, I'm not blaming. I would do it. I'm not blaming you, you know. You know, they probably look like assholes over there. You know, there's guys rolling up in Ferraris and hot cars and shit. just extremely tacky and classless. I know you're with me on this. Okay, listen, you don't have to. Off the record here, I'll turn the tape off. We can talk about it then. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice. Look at that, right at the cloud line, sun peeking through from the west. What do you think grows up there? What do you think grows in that little blue canyon? Yeah, give it to it. That's a nice orogeny. All right, that's all I got for tonight. Have a lovely evening. Go fuck yourself. Bye.